Hey guys, I'm Holly from The Run Experience. Today I'm going to tell you how to start training if you're overweight. So whether you used to run and want to get back into it, or you're looking to start training for the very first time, I'm going to give you healthy tips and ways to implement that training into your lifestyle so that it feels manageable, something you can stick to day after day, and something that will ultimately get you the results you want. All right, so before anything else, let's talk about why starting a training program can be so difficult to wrap your head around. I usually see people fall into one of two categories. One being they tried a training program in the past, went as hard as they could, gave it 1,000%, and completely burnt out. They either got injured, something started hurting, they just weren't able to implement it into the rest of their life, so they had to sacrifice other things, couldn't find balance, and just kind of like wheels fell off the car and they just kind of lost their motivation that way. The other category is the folks who feel that they have to lose a certain amount of weight before they even start a training program. And I totally understand that, especially when it comes to running and your joints are involved, you're asking for a lot of your body day to day. But the thing to realize here is for a training program to work, it has to be that sweet spot of getting the job done while allowing you to see results and stick with something that isn't too difficult and making it too hard for you to get up and push every single day. So whatever category you fall in there, just know that a training program can do all of that. It can get you where you need to go. Even if you are overweight, there are ways to start moving and working on a program that doesn't require you to lose a certain amount of weight first. In this next section, we will talk about what we're looking for from those workouts, as well as how to perform them on a weekly basis. All right, so let's not complicate this training process. I think a lot of things that come up in the beginning is it just gets so numbers based and we become so hyper focused on what we're not doing that it becomes inevitable that we just give up. What I want you to do is simply use kind of a little workout checklist to ensure that you're getting the most out of the days you are training. So this is very simple. We're not going to get too into the weeds here. I just want you to look out for these things whenever you train, and chances are it will help you stick to your program. First thing is going to be heart rate. You want to get that heart rate up higher than what it is when you're resting. So when you're sitting or you're walking lightly, we need heart rate to get up higher than that when you work out. This has to be a training session. Nothing crazy skyrocketed, but definitely a little uncomfortable, definitely higher than normal. Additionally, you'll notice you'll probably sweat more when you work out. Everyone sweats at different rates. You might even sweat normally during the day when you're not working out, but during your workouts, that is a decent indicator that you're exerting yourself at a higher capacity than normal. Additionally, you want to be using these training sessions to make your body do things it normally doesn't. So if you're sitting in the car all day, or you are sitting at your desk all day, or standing, but you're just not really getting a full range of motion out of your body, you want to use your training sessions to undo all of that. So work that upper body, that lower body. Running is really a whole full body process, as is most other sports. So you want to make sure you're asking your body to get out of its comfort zone and move. Speaking of that, you want to be out of your comfort zone in every training session. Even if it's for just a few moments of that training session, you want to have a point where you're a little uncomfortable, you almost want to quit, but you're not quite there yet. You push through. Having those little hurdles to get over will make you mentally and physically stronger on the next workout, without a doubt. Additionally, the harder you push on your workouts, the more you get out of that comfort zone, you will start to feel what's called that endorphin rush, or maybe a runner's high. This won't happen right off the bat, but for a lot of you, you will experience that kind of burst of energy after a hard effort. So you physically exhausted yourself, but you kind of notice that little mental push right at the end where you're really proud of yourself and you feel good about what you accomplished. That feeling right there makes it easier to sleep at night. I've noticed for a lot of people, once they get into a good training regimen, they have a lot easier time falling asleep and staying asleep. So now let's talk about what a weekly training plan might look like. And this can be kind of loose if you don't have one you're exactly following, but I've found that this combination of things usually works for folks to keep going with their program month to month. What you're gonna do is you wanna have at least 3 days where you walk, run, or a combination of both. So that's gonna be kind of your focused running day or your cardio day, where you're gonna be like really working for a longer period of time and getting used to keeping that heart rate up for longer. You're also gonna look to do 2 strength training days per week. Strength training can be so many different things. You can sign up for a class, you can do your own circuit workout, you can use weights, you can not use weights. There's plenty of great body weight movements you can do, which I will show you later on in this video. And lastly, I want you guys to mobilize or stretch almost daily. I usually say one day you can just, let it go, not do anything, but 5 to 6 days a week, you want to spend at least 5 minutes mobilizing. So there are so many videos on our channel, ideas for this, but give your body some love, not let those muscles get so tight that you then get injured, and then that gets your training off the rails. You wanna make sure you're spending the time there. In the next section, I'm gonna explain what the walk run days look like, and after that, we'll talk about what a possible strength training day might look like. So what do those walk run days look like? One of the things that I see get people a little flustered sometimes is they don't have a concrete goal when they get out the door. It's just, I'm gonna go walk today, or I'm gonna go try to jog for 30 minutes. And I think those things, when they're not calculated in the beginning, can get a little hard to wrap your head around. So I'm gonna give you 2 great run walk workouts to start with, and you can build from there. First one is going to be really simple. For 10 minutes, you're gonna go out, you're gonna walk for 90 seconds, jog for 30 seconds, alternated back and forth for the 10 minutes. You'll end up having done the walk and the run 5 times each. That is a great starter one that gets the heart rate up. It gets you used to that jogging method. Again, jog can mean anything. It could even be a power walk if you're not up for that yet. Second version you could do is find a moderate hill, so nothing crazy steep, but even on the treadmill, maybe going to like a 5% incline would be a good kind of starter point there. You're gonna power walk up the hill for about 1 minute. You're gonna then just jog easy or walk down the hill as your recovery, and you're gonna repeat that for 6 to 8 rounds, all depending, taking more rest if you need to. As the weeks go on, as the days go on, you can mix those how you want. You'll know when it starts to feel a little bit easier for you. I think you need to listen to your body, but at the end of the day, if you feel like you wanna run more, you should. You should take advantage of those days where you feel a little bit better, and you'll watch the walks get smaller, the runs get longer. So now let's talk about those strength training days. I told you to include 2 during your week of training. Let's talk about how you could come up with a workout that would be doable and something that's gonna help benefit your run walk days. So an example today I'm gonna give you is going to be 4 movements for a couple of rounds with some rest built in between. I find that when I create workouts for myself, the more I can mix up the movements to work different parts of my body, the more likely I will be able to last through the whole thing, get my rest where I need to, knowing that maybe one movement is super arm heavy, but then my arms will get a break when I go to my squats next or something like that. This is just a simple example I'll give you. We have tons of ideas on the channel if you need more, as well as a beginner running program as part of our training club subscription, which you can check out down below in the description, with tons of access to more workouts just like this one. So this is what you're gonna do. You are going to start with just a simple 10 air squats. So lightly, I'm just gonna give you kind of a rundown of this. You're gonna keep those toes pointed straight ahead, press those knees out to the side as you go down. Arms are out in front of you and chest is up. I'm just gonna take a squat here, stand up, squat down, stand up. If you've never air squatted before or done a squat of any kind, put a seat or a couch behind you. You can practice just tapping to there and coming back up, even sitting all the way down, standing back up. We're gonna do 10 reps of that. Then you're gonna do an elevated plank hold. So I'm gonna use a surface or something I can put my hands up so I'm not doing a full straight plank on the ground, which is a bit harder. I'm gonna be elevated here on the incline, walk my feet behind me, legs are together, butt is squeezed, like I'm pinching a piece of paper back there, and then my belly button is just pulled into my spine as much as I can. I will hold here 30 seconds, or if I wanna make it a little bit more advanced, what I can do, spread those legs a little bit, and I can do opposing shoulder taps here, getting a little bit more dynamic work for the 30 seconds. Next, you're going to go into a glute bridge raise. So I'm gonna lay down here, get something soft under you if you're outside on the cement like I am, and you're gonna just lay down on the ground with your hands by your sides, And all you're gonna do is press out of the heels and lift your hips to the sky. So I lift up and back down, lifting up, back down. You're gonna do 10 total raises there. And we're gonna finish with, again, an elevated push-up position. I'm gonna go back kind of where I was for that plank hold, but now I'm gonna work my triceps and my entire chest while keeping my body stable through the whole thing. Put my hands right under my shoulders again, walk the feet back, and I'm gonna keep my elbows in tight to my side. I'm gonna go down as far as I can, push back up, down as far as I can, back up, just for 5 push-ups. And what I would do in a workout scenario is I would do 1 round of that, rest maybe 2 to 3 minutes or as much as I needed to catch my breath, and go through another few rounds. Anywhere from 3 to 5 rounds would be a great strength workout, especially in the beginning. Adjust as needed. Like I said, these things start to get easier, you start to make them harder. So I wanted to make this video for you guys because I know how daunting training can be in the beginning. I know that all you can seem to think about is how further along everybody else is than you. They've been training for years. How are you going to ever get there? How are you going to get the weight off and feel good? How will running ever be enjoyable to you? And I understand that. I was there. One thing I want to leave you with is, how can you hold yourself accountable day to day? What can you do on a regular basis that will make you stick to what you really want? A couple things that have worked for me is keeping a training journal. So I'll write my workout out the night before. I check it off once I'm done the next day. Seeing those words on the paper really help hold you accountable. You can also just use a calendar and just X the days off as you go. Helps you just kind of move along through the month. You know, you look back and, oh my God, I've just done 8 weeks of training and I had no idea I was going to stick with it that hard. That is always a good way to go. Lastly, you can use other people to hold you accountable. So there are online groups. We have an awesome Facebook group that actually you would get to be a part of if you joined our training club, which you can do down in the description. That is just a community of members all over the world. They are the most motivating people I've ever seen. They have all been in the beginner steps just like you. So they know how to encourage and give you tips when things are hurting or you don't feel like you want to get up and do it that day. And it's a place for you to brag about your own running, about your own training. Post that photo after you finish. You'll get hundreds of people liking and commenting on it. It's awesome. Lastly, you can just grab that friend or family member that has potentially talked about training as well. Maybe they also are in the same boat as you. They're looking for a way to get started and they just haven't been able to do it on their own. You can tackle this with them. Those are all great ways to hold yourself accountable. I want you guys to be proud of yourselves for knowing this is not easy, but sticking with it anyway. These kinds of training and hard workouts can spread over into other areas of your life. What I really have seen before is people feel stronger around the house. They feel like they can lift heavier things, get things down from a shelf they didn't used to be able to do. They can keep up with their kids now in the park, running around. You just have higher energy levels all around. I know you guys can do this. Don't think you have to lose a bunch of weight before you start. Any training plan is modified. You can always make those adjustments as you need. I believe in you. Let me know how it's going down below. Movement. We're gonna get out of that regular, I don't know what I'm saying. I wanna make this thing the most accessible. Guys, I hope these tips helped you in some way. If you are looking to kind of boost that training or create some sort of plan for your workouts, you should check out our 2-week quick start program. 2 weeks of totally free workouts, mobility work, injury prevention, all down in the description on that link. You can click there and check those out. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you have any comments or questions for me around what we discussed or requests for future videos you want to see made, drop that in the comments. And subscribe to the channel. We have new videos coming out every single week, and we want you to get notified when they do come out so you can be the first to see them. Thanks again for watching. I will catch you in the next video.